We are live, Siddharth, we are live.
Very long countdown.
Yes. Oh, yes. 1 year, one and a half years of planning, rotation, workload management, confusion over all of that, injuries.
It is match day.
It's
Match day.
India versus Australia, and no better venue than to start. Chepauk, M.A. Chidambaram Stadium, where fans will be absolutely passionate, and the cheer that you will get from the Chidambaram Stadium is going to be next level. You thought CSK's cheers were very low and muted when they play. This is going to raise it to the very next level.
I'm just thinking what was to happen, let's say, if by any chance the camera pans to a certain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, let's say if he's in attendance. Just imagine what the decibel levels
Have
would
there
be
been
like.
any rumors that he is?
There aren't. I'm just saying, of course, it's a high decibel game anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's India. But what if you were to add Mahendra Singh Dhoni in the mix?
Well, that will be an added cherry onto the icing that is.
I think
already
it'll be
there.
deafening then.
It will be deafening. I mean, look, the highest decibel that MS Dhoni got in the entire IPL was 130. That is as equivalent.
It was recorded.
Of course, you also ran a package, my friend, about the decibel levels that came.
You wrote it.
You only wrote it.
No.
You watched it, my friend.
What?
Let me complete my coffee.
Okay, and somebody was complaining I lack energy. Huh? It's just like Shane yesterday. He did an interview, but he forgot who he did it for.
Not yesterday, it was 3 days back.
3 days back, yeah.
I don't blame you guys for losing track of the calendar, yeah. But
I know.
that's why it was, as Shane said earlier on, it was a long countdown that we got today before we could, start this stream. But it was a long countdown for this Indian team as well. Let's not forget, it's day 4 of the Cricket World Cup. We've had to wait 3 proper days to see India in action. Finally, that day is here, and you take on the mighty Aussies. It's, when you look at it, it's a big test that India sort of start with. And you talk about, starting on a high. You talk about making a mark like the kind that South Africa did yesterday, like the kind that New Zealand made in that World Cup opener. India, of course, all eyes as the hosts on them, and they're always one of the favorites going into any format of the World Cup.
Of course. I mean,
This, of course, is in front of home crowd.
Yeah, I mean, see, even in the build-up that we have all done, he said that this is the best chance for India to end a 12-year jinx, a 10-year ICC jinx. This is the best chance. I mean, it cannot get any bigger or better than this in that way. So, home advantage, obviously. First time you want to play in October, November, an ICC event. Barring that, this is the best chance that India have. And remember, Chennai, if you look at it, I mean, I can only recollect 1987 when it comes to India versus Australia World Cups. 1987, India were the defending champions. They came, first game, India versus Australia, Chepauk. What happened? India lost by 1 run. And remember, India could very well have won by 1 run had it not been some sporting gestures from Kapil Dev, because Dean Jones apparently hit a straight drive and they said it was a 4. But Jones and the Australian team were adamant that it was a 6. It did cross over. The umpires didn't check that. So they went to the Indian dressing room. India agreed. Okay, it's 6. The addition of those 2 runs, look at the margin they lost by. 1 run. Steve Waugh bowling the final over and Maninder Singh getting LBW at this point. So it's India versus Australia. And remember, there is plenty of talk. Let's focus on the Indian cricket team at this point in time, because 2 major concerns. Does Gill play or not? And second, whether Ashwin plays or not. On these 2 things, we will debate a lot about it. I mean, Shane, if Gill is fit, I mean, I had said yes, he will play, but what do you think? Will he play?
Not a chance.
Gill's not playing.
Shubman Gill. I've heard just now from Vikrant sir that Shubman Gill is not in the team bus, so he's most likely not.
Oh, there
playing.
Yeah, he's not there.
With
He's
the
not there.
confirmation, that's
7-4 you said.
as right as we can get.
Yep, so
Okay.
that means Ishan Kishan will open.
There we
Right
go.
on cue.
Yes, right on cue. Ishan Kishan is going to open along with Rohit Sharma. I hope that is the case, because I don't want many changes in the batting order, because if Kishan bats at 5, KL opening.
No, but I think with
0-0,
KL, he
7-4.
seems well settled at 5, so it would make no sense. And to be fair, whatever else said and done, they've been very consistent with their positioning for KL.
Yeah.
He hasn't,
Yeah.
every match that he's played at 5 only.
Except that
4.
Pakistan game.
Yeah, I think they're 4 also because you didn't have Shreyas, right?
Shreyas.
Yeah. So otherwise they've kept him in the middle order. They've not looked to open with him. So that is a good sign also that no, they're content that he does a very good job in the middle order, and they're going to stick with that. The Ashwin thing, well, that's something I think we'll get to know a lot more once we know a little bit more about how the pitch plays, because again, World Cup, you generally are a little secretive about how the pitches will look. I mean, look at Hyderabad, for instance. Pakistan, their opening matches, they were playing on an absolute road. Then come the first match against Netherlands and it's spin paradise. So you'll know only, I think, once we get to see some, we get to read something on what the pitch report looks like. Then I think you'll know. Because if there is any chance that you're getting a hint of turn, even a little bit of what it is like the traditional chipok, you can bet your bottom dollar that the local boy is going to be playing.
Of course, Ishan. See again, are you going to, if you look at the trend that has happened in the 3-4 matches that's been there so far in this World Cup, teams have preferred playing 3 spinners and 3 pacers. You look at New Zealand, you look at England, not England, I mean you look at even Sri Lanka for that
England do play 3 spinners.
3 spinners, yeah, England did play 3 spinners.
Yeah,
Root, Ali,
Root, Ali and Moeen.
Root, Ali and Adil Rashid.
And don't forget Liam Livingston also bowled some handy off spin.
But did he bowl in that game?
I don't think he bowled, but don't forget he does actually roll his In fact, I will say that because he bowls wrist spin, he's actually the preferred second choice spinner to someone like a Moeen or Joe Root. They're more, finger spinners. So he does bowl a lot.
Although Rahul, who's there in Chennai, he did say that Ashwin will play.
Yeah, it seems likely. Again, what we know about Chennai, if we were to go by that, then it does seem very likely that he will play. But of course, there is always that chance. Let's say, for instance, you see, and to be fair, we've seen, Delhi did a total volte-face.
Yeah.
You were looking at that. You didn't recognize the hitting a Delhi pitch.
I'll be taken by surprise if Chennai is to be, or the pitch in Chennai is to be on the same lines of what we saw in the national capital. I think that'll be a huge surprise for me, and I don't think I'll be particularly happy with that.
I mean, you want a mixture of these things, right?
No, I mean, see, looking at it, Delhi was relayed, right?
No,
only Lucknow was.
Lucknow was,
okay.
and Dharamshala earlier on.
But Dharamshala also was more the outfield.
Outfield, not the pitch.
But I think whatever changes happened in Dharamshala,
it's not gone down well at all.
It's not gone down well.
The Afghanistan players were complaining. Even Jonathan Trott, who's part of their coaching staff, said very clearly that
huge chunk that exploded when that fielder dived.
And he's saying that normally nowadays we always encourage at international level, fielders to dive because you give them lush outfields. A pitch like that, it's just waiting for an injury.
Very briefly, just before we started this chat, in that little chat that I managed to have with Nikhil and Sunny Ji, those guys are, by the way, we'll put across all those discussions on Sports Today. Don't worry about that. So Sunny Ji was also commenting on the outfield. It was fast. 1. 2 was the fact that all these patches we were talking about yesterday, it's not done. You're talking about the World Cup, you're expecting better outfield.
No, the problem was, as I had mentioned in one of the videos that I did, Dharamshala got a below average rating because there was a fungal infection. The entire outfield had a fungal infection, and you can't blame it on the ground stuff. It's just the climate. If you get a fungal infection, then it's a 50-50 thing, whether you can get the outfield ready, whether it can be redeemed. Because the weather has been so erratic in Himachal that unfortunately you've not had time to prepare. The weather has been very erratic in Himachal. We've had extremely high rains, heavy rains in the last 2 years.
And not just that, in fact, if I remember correctly, when during the Border Gavaskar Trophy, when we found out that tests from Dharamshala were shifted to Indore, if I'm not wrong, that was also very unexpected. It was a last minute change they had to make. Although I think that was partly down to the board kind of taking it deep.
No, I think that was also because the ground wasn't ready.
Yeah, it wasn't. But I'm saying they would have had some information beforehand that there were troubles and they shifted it at the very last minute.
The problem is the ground staff kind of assured them that okay, maybe it can be done.
Yes.
But weather didn't allow them to ensure that one patch. There was just one patch on the outfield which just could not be ready. And
I was so last minute because I remember how there was a huge thing on social media, huge furore, especially coming in from
the visiting fans.
Yes, from the Australian camp and the people over there. Because see, it's not about people in India or the locals here. It's more to do with the traveling fans and more to do with the traveling team, because so much gets determined, your logistics, your bookings, your tickets, all of that, and you're changing centers from the north to the central part of the country. It's not easy, and I remember fans, particularly from the Australian side, not being pleased by it at all.
Yep, indeed.
No, obviously, because very last minute, you would have
Exactly.
made your
Very,
hotel
very
arrangements, this, that, and then
I
just out of
think
nowhere.
max, if you may say, okay, supposing you dish out a 330 wicket. Supposing if a team makes 330 in Chepauk, I don't think that is a drastic change in the Chepauk character, because if you look at the last 3-4 ODIs, okay, the last one in March, it was a 250, 260 kind of a wicket. But traditionally, if you look at it, Chepauk has always been 280, 290. But in this World Cup, with batting and next level, this thing, maybe 20, 30 runs more can be a given.
But even Chepauk, a few years back, even a 265 would be a competitive total.
But again, just like how Kolkata changed, even Chepauk has changed. Remember, for quite a long time, there was no international games in Chepauk. 15,
Yeah.
then 16, you didn't get the World T20 games at all.
In fact, the last 2 years, you've only had 2 ODIs being played at the Chepauk, and you've lost both of them, by the way.
To the West Indies, if
West
I'm not
Indies
mistaken,
and Australia.
And Australia. So, that's why, see, Chepauk, even in the IPL, it changed character, didn't it?
Oh, that was as
That was changing character.
That was as two-paced as it gets, yeah. Or let's say that was a tale of two halves, let's say, actually, because the first 3 matches I remember, even MS was like, you know, he didn't know much about that pitch.
Exactly.
And that's why perhaps, you know, Chennai didn't really have the kind of home record that they otherwise do.
But they still won the IPL.
They still
That's
won
a
the
different thing
IPL.
altogether.
Again, it was only, let's say, after those first 3 matches that the Chennai wicket was much truer to what it's known for. But those 3 matches, I remember, took everyone by surprise, because teams had made their choices and selections based on convention as to what to expect from that pitch.
Exactly. So, look, depending upon the pitch, I mean, in an ICC tournament, I think the pitches might be slightly different. Although Delhi went to the other extreme in being different, it became a run fest.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to accept humble pie and say, like, I told Gargi, we were not doing the build-up. 280, 290, Firoz Shah Kotla, Arun Jaitley Stadium. It's never happening. And what happened? The highest ever World Cup score in history was created.
428.
428. Shane did that video on what all records were obliterated.
So
in that.
many of them. It's mad.
Yeah.
And by the way, South Africa were 10 runs away from equaling their own record for the highest ODI score in India.
Yeah.
And where was that, by the way? In Mumbai, which tells you everything you need to know about how much Delhi's pitch has changed.
They were 12 away from their highest ODI score ever.
438.
439. I think they leveled in Mumbai. I think 438, right?
Yeah, it was 438.
438. So, that
Leveling, of course, the 434, 438 ODI.
I know, that was crazy. But see, India versus Australia will probably not set the tone. I mean, look, if a team loses today, yes, big psychological blow.
Yeah, but I don't think
it is
it's a
not
World
panic
Cup.
stations.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is the nature of the form. If there were, okay, 5 teams in this group, 5 teams in here, you lose this one, then you may have to be slightly worried about it.
Actually, in fact, if you look at it this way, then, you know, no result so far has actually been a World Cup ender for any team. I know a lot of people are ringing the alarm bells for England, but I don't think losing to New Zealand was a big result. So, that match is as 50-50 as they come. Whoever won on the day, you say, yeah.
Also, let's not forget, speaking for every team, let's say just going back to India's journey to the semi-finals in 2019, India had also lost 2 matches, right? If I'm not wrong, in
Only one England.
You won against South Africa.
Yeah,
you won
England,
against Pakistan.
yeah.
You won against
Australia also you
the
won.
New Zealand game was washed out.
Was out, yeah. So again, point being, 2 hiccups are also fine at times for you to ensure, and you will lose 1 or 2 games. Simple as that, and that's allowed. That's totally allowed.
You can't go through a 2-month tournament without losing at least once.
9 ODIs.
Just ask
Yeah,
Australia,
exactly.
but they will disagree. Australia did
That's
it.
one of the rare things that happen.
And they were next level.
That game, by the way, if I'm not wrong, was a high-scoring match, right? In Australia last time around 312 with 13 India posted.
No, it was much more. No, more than it was. I think 350, if I'm not mistaken. That because Dhawan hit
Dhawan
a
had
century.
Kohli got a 80 odd.
Kohli got 80 and even this guy Rohit hit a 50. And so that's why your top 3 all contribute. Dhoni finished it off with 28, I think, of some 16 balls. I think they made 352. Australia lost by 36 runs. They made 312. They made a real big feast about it. I think Alex Carey did well. Then I think Warner did well, but that was it.
Yeah.
On that wicket, I think Australia were anyway blown away by Dhawan's 100 at that time.
That was the clincher.
Yeah,
right?
but you won after 8 years against Australia in the World Cup. So
11 was the last, yeah.
prior to that, it took you 24 years to win against Australia.
Correct.
And the numbers sort of tell you how, why they say Australia are that big tournament team. Because if you look at the head-to-head between the two countries, it's just skewed.
Very
it is
badly.
skewed. It's 8-4 of the 12 matches
the maximum games that India have lost in the World Cup is to Australia.
Yeah, they're a big.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't think that this match, even if it happens to go wrong for India, it's not a World Cup ender. Impossible.
Yeah, although I don't think that it will go against India.
No, I agree.
Simply for the fact that it's home advantage. And traditionally, if you look at last 3 World Cups, 11, 15 and 19, India have always started well. 15 also, they didn't lose
19
the
you
league
start,
stages.
at all.
19 you lost only towards
England.
the later end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost to England and then New Zealand. Those were your only major losses.
New Zealand in the semi-final.
Half of all
obviously.
places.
Yeah.
So.
But
Yeah, I was saying that when it comes to India, they would be looking to win this one for momentum purposes and confidence, to get confidence.
Absolutely.
But even if they lose it, it's not the end of the world.
But again, look, India did beat they beat 2 out of the 4 Sena countries in the 19 World Cup. They beat South Africa quite convincingly.
And Australia.
Yes, the 36-run margin, in the end, it was comfortable for India.
Yeah.
The game against New Zealand got washed out, and unfortunately, they lost to England. And that too, I think they were playing catch up. I don't go by the victory margin of 30. I think they lost by 30 runs, if I'm not mistaken.
England?
No, India lost by 30 runs, I guess.
No,
to England.
that's a deceptive margin,
Yeah.
because you'd remember that towards the end, it was Dhoni and Kedar Jadhav who basically just tapped
Also
around the
Rishabh
ball,
Pant.
and Pant came and come back later.
Exactly.
Because you lost your top 3. Once you got through that, you knew the match was done, because England also put on a big total.
Yeah, but I think they kind of got restricted
Later on.
later on. So that's why, see, this you're only going to look at the permutations and combinations of everything after every team has played 5 games.
At least 3 or 4.
Midpoint. After the midpoint, only then you will get the psychological, oh, we have to win, we have to. That's what happened with England. That's what happened with New Zealand. Didn't happen with India, didn't happen with Australia. So that's why. I mean,
The only thing I'm worried about here is, and I tend to agree with Gargi here, that I think the onus, and I think it is of much more importance for India to win this match than Australia. Because again, India, unlike Australia, are looking at a huge trophy drought. There is a sense of desperation on the front of, let's say, fans. On that front, you're looking at desperation, you're looking at results right from the word go. And I'm just afraid that if at all you were to lose against Australia, and we know that you're looking at Australia as one of the top contenders for this year's World Cup title, I just hope that it doesn't set the cat among the pigeons, and it doesn't end up being that
lost for words.
I am lost for words at the
Because
moment.
he's tense. Harshit is tense.
No, it doesn't sort of send across those panic waves, let's say, in the camp.
No, see, the advantage that you have with this kind of a format, okay, like 92, 2019, where each team plays the other, there is no group system.
Yeah.
You are probably scarred by the fact that in 2021, you had to win 2 games against the top 2, but you lost. And that is when the cat was set amongst the people.
No, I'll correct you there. You only had to win 1.
Yeah.
You actually only had to win 1. Yeah. All you had to do was beat either Pakistan or New Zealand and you were through. Because you walloped the minnows. No two ways about it. But by the time you went to wallop the minnows, you were already out.
You were already out. So that's why I can understand. But luckily you're not in a group system. Even in 2007, you lost to Bangladesh, you lost to Sri Lanka.
And that's it.
That was it. So how much ever you would decimate Bermuda by, you were never going to get through.
Yeah.
And that is why I think after that only the group system changed. And in 2011, you had 6 teams in each group, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You had 6. And after that, you lost to South Africa. That was it.
Yeah,
in
you
the league
tied
stages.
with England.
You tied with England, by the way.
Yeah.
So your India campaign actually didn't start that well. Your first game was Mirpur. But then after that, you tied against England. You
And
lost to South Africa.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if a team loses,
What was that? 3-8?
3-3-8.
3-3-8.
It could have been 3-3-9 had Munaf Patel not gotten that short run.
I remember
It was a short run. So that is why it could have been 3-30. England could have lost by 1 run.
By the way, look at the visuals of that pitch.
My goodness.
That's a lot of cracks.
Ashwin is playing.
Are they exported the Film City road?
No. That doesn't look like a road.
No, I mean that wasn't a road. It was bumps. Yeah. ऐसे कहते हैं ना, road में गड्ढे नहीं थे, गड्ढे में road थे. Isn't it? That is the situation. I mean, those cracks.
Pitch में crack नहीं है.
Cracks per pitch, but 100 now do we know Ashwin is playing into it?
Yeah.
That's just too many cracks.
Way.
That's just too many
What are
cracks.
the spinning options in Australia? Zampa.
They only have one specialist spinner. Specialist spinner is one,
Zampa
just
only
Zampa.
one.
Doesn't matter.
India have 3.
Doesn't matter.
Jaddu.
Glenn Maxwell is enough here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Four.
Nah, he took a
wickets.
4
Anybody else? Labuschagne, but
Labuschagne, no, they might just. They were bowling him in the
Smith
practice.
for that matter.
I
in
doubt
that case.
Smithy will bowl, but Labuschagne might. If you really
Smudge.
want to take a punt, David Warner.
2 overs for 40.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
We never know. He might just take 4 wickets again.
Man, oh
Is
man.
he? I am actually looking forward to there being a time where he's facing Ashwin and whether he'd be batting right-handed this time.
He will, 100%.
Should. But remember, on this Chennai wicket, I mean, the first glimpse, you all thought that in Indore, Warner was batting right-handed and countering Ashwin. You have to check out the Champions League T20 encounters in Chennai between New South Wales Blues and Chennai Super Kings in 2010-11. At that time, the way how Warner counter-attacked Ashwin, oh man.
Yeah, but that was a different Warner also.
Yeah. But I think he's bringing the shades of that old Warner here, because remember, this is in all likelihood
His last
white ball.
Yeah, 24 anyway after Pakistan series, we're expecting his retirement.
I don't
right?
think he'll get selected for the T20 guys.
I think, that's it. This is last white ball tournament that he'll ever play.
Correct.
I don't think he's playing even the T20I format after this.
Yeah, no, seems unlikely.
So
But there's
that is
something about Warner being a clutch player, yeah, let's not forget, because he's got new runs in big tournaments in the past, and look at the fact that he's now resurrected his form so much.
Yeah.
He was a nobody with the bat just about 5 months back. He struggled
would
massively in
say
the IPL.
Warner flies under the radar because there are 2 clutch players in this Australia team. One is Steve Smith, big game.
and
big
in Test
man
especially.
player. Even ODIs, I mean 15 you look at it, half century versus Pakistan when Australia were absolutely wilting in that Vabriya spell. Then 100 against India in Sydney and then a 50 against New Zealand in the final.
Actually, correct.
50, 150. Then you look at even in the 2019 semi-final, you hit a 50 against England amidst all the hostilities.
Yeah.
Then even World Test Championship cycle, who got the final 100? Head and Steve Smith.
Correct.
And then the second one who really flies under the radar is Mitch Marsh. Marsh 2021.
Because he actually doesn't come across as a clutch player. You look at him and think, he's that destroyer type. But his destroying innings are very, very effective at absolutely destroying the opposition ropes.
Okay,
Like
there's
we
one.
also have Tanveer Sangha.
Tanveer Sangha.
But will he play is the question.
I doubt. No.
See, whether will they want to compromise on their batting depth?
I highly doubt. I think the days of playing 2 spinners, 2 specialist spinners.
It will need a Kane Williamson like genius to ensure that you pick the right team. Remember, the genius
Nagpur.
of Kane Williamson, Nagpur.
Oh,
Nagpur
yeah.
2016. How could you bench
Drop
Bolt and Saudi, two of your
but he won
greatest,
the match.
and you pick 4 spinners?
I think that was the match because I was in Nagpur at the time and because it was so hot.
Yeah.
Everyone was puking. Like all the Kiwis.
Yes.
You could just see
remember
it.
Yeah, it was-
Everyone was sick because of the heat.
Yeah. Poor heat is brutal.
Can we open the scorecard?
Because Ashwin, looking at this pitch now, I think.
I want to. Yeah, because one look at it is enough. But scroll down. Because it looks dry on the slower side. There we go.
Reckons Harvey. I mean, remember Bajupa in Chennai took 16 wickets against Australia in that 2001 Test match. So Bajupa, if he says spinners will be in the game, then spinners surely makes sense to play 3 spinners.
But then I think South Africa may just be tempted to bring in Tanveer Sangha.
Australia.
Sorry.
Given his inexperience, I doubt.
No, but then who else do they have? Because
Agar was your one option, but Agar is not
Agar
there.
will be a big miss.
Big
Yeah.
miss.
And remember, in Chennai, if you look at it in that March ODI, it was Agar who actually set it up along
Yeah.
with
I
Zampa.
remember. Do they
I
have
remember
this?
his wicket.
Can we see their squad? I want to see who
I remember that wicket of Surya Kumar Yadav, where Agar had to do very little, by the way, to get his wicket because Surya was just struggling then.
Yeah, that was a time when Surya was gifting his wickets.
Yeah, so.
But yeah,
Oh boy, it looks drier than the usual Chennai wicket and will slow down as the game progresses.
Do India have part-time spinners?
Yeah,
Shreyas Iyer.
Shreyas Iyer is there.
Now you can say what you said yesterday. 280, 270.
No, I'm not predicting pitches anymore. I'm not predicting scores anymore. Delhi has literally thrown that out of the equation by a massive margin. 428.
I don't think anybody would have gotten the
This is the
Delhi
second
prediction.
highest in the history of India ODIs,
Yeah, second
ODIs
highest.
played in India.
Highest at the Firozshah Kotla also.
I saw the Firozshah
By
got
98
runs. Imagine that.
So, and that too, who said it? West Indies against the Netherlands 12 years back.
2015.
Oh boy. So that is why. Okay, so I think 3 spinners will be a norm. I think Sangha will have to play because they don't have anybody else.
Yeah, you may, can you
I
drop your
doubt.
pacer?
I
may drop
don't think
Hazelwood.
Sangha is playing.
He's right, he'll drop Hazelwood.
You'll drop Hazelwood.
I don't think. Again, you're playing India. You really don't want to be taking a chance.
But
I
Hazelwood
believe.
doesn't really offer you that much with the bat.
See,
But with the I think Australia will still back their pacers to do well.
This pitch?
see, you can't drop Cummins. and
Sangha, I
Stark.
don't think because of his inexperience doesn't.
You
need.
can't drop Cummins. He's the captain.
Yeah,
Stark is your
Left armor. So
Right.
Hazelwood is always the bunny in these cases. I think he'll be the one going out.
He has
you
to.
have to.
Makes sense.
This pitch, playing Hazelwood, you may as well not play him.
Exactly. I mean, okay. See, India, they are sure they will play only 2 frontline pacers in Siraj and Bumrah.
I know what Cummins, what other
Yes.
option you have in terms of an advantage if you're looking for it besides him obviously being the skipper? Cutters.
But I don't get too much into this. His white ball bowling. If
No,
I have
his
to look at
ODI
it.
bowling is still fine.
Even T20Is.
At T20Is he gets tonked, even I know it.
Even ODIs, he struggled.
ODIs he struggled, agreed. But again, here, he's someone who could crank it up to 145. 2-pace pitch, few cutters will be effective.
Okay, let's tell you what Ravi Shastri makes of the pitch. He, by the way, got a very close look off the pitch. He feels that it'll be a slower surface, might be too paced, and just looking at the color, much darker on one side and lighter on the other is what he
That
says.
watering trick again.
The thing that they tried in Nagpur,
Yeah.
where
But they can't do that. No?
Yeah,
This is now ICC. So.
Andy Atkinson will be
Or
in
you
charge.
could just, when you're playing, you could have.
But that was
bottle of
just,
water, like, oh, oops.
the Aussies spooking themselves ahead of the match and
definitely.
finding reasons to stoke up a controversy.
mean,
Ravi Shastri further says that I've seen Chennai pitches being harder and flatter, but this one will be a bit on the slower side. If you bowl back of a length and don't give pace, then it won't be easy. That's what the reading
Shaz is
of
saying.
Ravi Shastri is at the moment. He also says that it looks drier.
That's Harbhajan.
It's Bhaji. The Bhaji feels that it looks drier than the usual Chennai wicket. Will
who
slow
knows?
down as the game progresses.
And
So
Harbhajan
win the
would
toss,
bowling
win
too.
second.
Win the toss, bat
Bowling-
first.
Exactly, bowling second looks like a good option.
But no. What if it is not under lights?
Yeah, and that's been.
That happens.
Again, if you're just going by what Harbhajan, and given the fact that he has been a specialist spinner,
I don't think Dew will be a factor here.
Do you know? But it does tend to sometimes either under lights.
I think this is that Chennai wicket when
It gets even
CSK used to dominate 11-15 that era.
The 130-40 pitches.
It would get even slower. So use your time with the new ball. New ball, you may get 10 overs 60.
okay, toss time.
Toss
Siddharth,
time.
when
Boy,
you grab
come
your
on.
phone.
Yep. It
Huh?
will be there.
Yes.
Yes.
Get
So-
hold of your phone.
Yep, and I will tell you what is the playing 11, but I think I know the playing 11 what it is.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do. So that's why. But look at that pitch, man. Oof, it's
Oof,
a
where
The coin's gone up, and it
it's gone
is
somewhere.
Where?
yeah,
spun
it's gone
somewhere.
to Pattabhiraman.
It's a
So Australia have
I
won
think
the
they'll bat
toss.
first.
Oh
I think
Oh,
they
no.
should bat.
Oh no.
no. No, I hate that song.
I think he's perplexed.
Who doesn't?
Pat Cummins is perplexed with this pitch. Either then that means
They might just bowl
bat
first.
second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you are unsure, you always would.
bat. I think they have gone by their strength.
Yeah.
Australia have gone by
always
their
like to set
bat,
targets anyway.
exactly.
I
Or
think
maybe
their
they
assessment
don't
of the
want
pitch
to-
is also what Bhaji was saying.
They'll get tougher.
They expect the pitch to slow down.
Yes,
Or they
yes,
don't
yes.
want to deal with the heat as well.
No, I mean
The bowlers.
it's.
Actually, that's correct.
But again, see, it is a 50-50
That's
situation.
something you do think about as a captain.
Yeah, so I am just waiting. It will come.
We all know. And by the way, based on what we're saying, there was no signs of Shubman Gill in the team huddle either. So
But you know that
He wasn't in the bus, so
the
why would
body
he-
no, but
language.
that's still.
Like,
Rohit Sharma's
He'd be coming in a Rolls Royce.
He's
Alag
sneaking.
se.
Yeah,
To be fair, we know some players do that.
exactly.
I think Rohit's body language suggests that he too would have wanted to bat first.
No, Rohit's body language never suggests anything.
Let's wait for his comments. Let's see.
Wait, I have
It's
just
not
got
body language, it's
to
video language.
see.
Yeah.
I'll just have.
He's
to
always
see
in
what-
that mode. Like,
Yeah. He's. I mean, I don't read too much into it. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
calm. He's just chill. He's in that Zen mode.
his
figure at
chill
this
is next level.
Yeah, he's
that-
chill. He's
I
the
aspire
antithesis.
to be this chill.
Yeah.
He is the antithesis of Virat Kohli.
And this guy is.
Yeah. But nothing,
Please bothered.
as far as calmness is concerned, nothing beats Kane.
Kane.
Williams.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Kane is next level.
He's a monk.
Even Owen, I was going to say Wilson.
Owen
Sorry,
Morgan. Morgan was another one who, see, he had a way with his words.
Lack of he was very non-expressive. I mean, that's
He was
very
always
Irish.
like
Yeah,
this.
he was Irish. Yes.
That's it. That's
Okay, so here are the two teams, and drum roll, please. First, India, Rohit Sharma. Then you've got Virat Kohli,
There it
Shreyas
is.
Iyer, Ishan Kishan,
Obviously.
KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja,
It's the squad we expected.
Kuldeep Yadav, Siraj, and
Bumrah, Ashwin.
Ash.
Of course. See,
the
there we go.
difference in all their pictures, and then there's Ashwin.
Yes, all are weird.
Everyone's like, no, everyone's stoic, and then you have Ashwin like,
I made it.
I mean, and also beard and this.
but then even
Everybody's-
Kuldeep doesn't have one.
Kuldeep has at least got a stubble.
Oh, that's not even. Actually, yeah, Ishan.
Ishan has got a mustache.
He's got a mustache.
He's like a typical Tamram, clean shaven in that sense. So, yeah, Ash Anna is clean shaven, but he does have that big
So, by the way,
stubble.
this is Ashwin's first World Cup match in 8 years.
Yes.
2015 was the last time he played.
Yep. And after 12 years, he plays in India World Cup. He was there in 2011.
11, correct?
Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
19, he didn't play.
19
And-
wasn't even in the squad.
Yeah, and this is the Australian 11. Warner, Marsh, Smith, Labuschagne, Green.
So, no Tanvir Sangha.
Okay, Carey, Maxwell, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Zampa. Oh,
No Tanvir Sangha. Very
They
interesting.
back themselves.
They have backed their
They
strength.
backed their strength. To be fair,
Not surprised.
To be
Not
fair,
surprised.
they did exactly the same thing in the WTC final also.
Yes, yes, yes.
No chopping and changing for the sake of it.
Exactly what I was expecting. Again, Australia are not that, and unlike India, let's say, where conditions or even half an hour of cover, cloud cover, does determine what we do, and we get swayed by those things. Australia back themselves, and I think that's what big teams do.
But again, remember, if, okay, they have backed their strength, but it can also backfire spectacularly also.
Yeah.
You play the wrong team in the wrong conditions.
Exactly.
It's that 50-50 equation that I look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I think I would agree with what India have done here in the sense that Chennai is going to be a slow kind of day.
Yeah.
So, you do end up backing three
Now,
spinners.
who's
That with the
Andrew
pep
McDonald?
talk, man. That's some pep talk being given.
Is he being boosted by the haka, the war dance? I mean, the kind of passion.
That's not Andrew McDonald.
That's,
Andrew
no.
Not McDonald.
Wasn't
McDonald's ginger. Come on.
I thought he was, but okay, I don't know who's in the Australian backroom staff.
Yeah, we'll need to check, but whoever that coach was, man alive, that was
He was
Some
fired up.
Yeah.
really, really fired up. So, yep. So, two pacers with Hardik Pandya also.
That's
That's three. And your three spinners in Jaddu, Kuldeep, Ash.
You know, the good news with that is that when it comes to India bowling first, at least the overs will kind of fly, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
will be. But again, Ash and Jaddu together. Test match vibes.
Yeah, and actually, they've never really played a World Cup together now that you think about it.
Yeah, they
15.
15. No, I think when Ashwin played, Jadeja didn't play.
So there we go. So actually the first time you're seeing the Ash Jaddu combination in a white ball ODI World Cup.
They played in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
That was the final against Pakistan. They played together there.
Yeah.
Then 6 years later, they are back in Chennai. And
Sort of surprising that they haven't.
They actually haven't because
Wow.
Dhoni generally never liked playing two spinners unless necessary.
And 15 was Australia. You wouldn't want to. You would play either
Yeah,
Jaddu or either you would play Ashwin.
Depending on whether you wanted batting depth or whatever.
Yeah. Or did I think they played in that 15 semi-final? I have to check.
I'm not sure
15
myself.
semi-final. I think both Jaddu and Ash played, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they did. They did.
Okay.
15 semi-final. That was the.
So, but I mean, it's still 15 last time,
Long
now
time.
23, 8 years later.
8 years later. Yep.
Yeah,
So
should we have a look at some of the comments?
let's
maybe?
just wait. Yeah. So I'm perplexed. I think India have given the right. I think they have picked the right team, and I think Australia kind of okay. They back their strengths, which is good, but it can also backfire spectacularly also because only two spinners as compared to three on this dry chip-pock wicket.
I think by the end of it, there's going to be one team which is going to be a little embarrassed, I feel, because two teams have gone with very different playing 11s. There's one team playing three proper spinners, the other has gone with just one, and the other, by the way, happens to be their let's say, not so regular a spinner?
Who? Maxwell.
Maxwell.
No, he bowls very regularly.
Again, but he is not, let's say, a main man, let's say.
You may say he's not at that much of game time.
He's
a long game
actually
time.
because otherwise, if you go back and check his stats in the last couple of years, he's bowled a lot.
4 for 40 he picked in that Rajkot ODI.
Yeah.
4 for 40 is one thing I'm saying, but generally also even in the other times, he is often used as a container in the middle over.
Come on, he won you one game in the last over. He got a double wicket maiden by defending 2
Exactly.
against Pakistan. They needed 2 runs, 2 wickets in hand, 6 balls. They lost by 1.
In fact, actually, if you look, Maxwell,
What have the Australians scored it?
we do. We
did.
saw it.
We ran through it.
Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, there is no Tanveer Sangha.
Oh, right.
There are 4 pacers. I mean, you have Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins, Green. Those are your 4 pacers. And Zampa and Maxwell. That's
So-
what
so they were right.
Don't forget, there's also Mitchell Marsh.
Marsh, I doubt will bowl much.
Labuschagne then.
I think Labuschagne will be the other option they turn to.
Yeah, Marnus
To
Labuschagne.
be fair, he's done an okay job in tests, but tests is a different ball game.
I think he did well even in the white ball. I mean, okay, didn't take wickets, but I think economy-wise he was okay-ish, I would say. So, okay, Australia have Marsh, Labuschagne, Green, Maxwell, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Zampa. 8 bowling options to think about it. And if you look at India, a part-time maybe Shreyas Iyer, Hardik Pandya, Jaddu, Ash, Kuldeep, Bumrah, Siraj. They have 7.
And even Shreyas Iyer, by the way, we're being generous in counting because he doesn't bowl much.
I mean, Rohit and Virat, they haven't bowled much for the last 4-5 years.
Has Virat bowled since 2016 in international
I don't
level?
think so.
He bowled in the test match in New Zealand.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, he almost got Henry Nicholls' wicket. He almost got Henry Nicholls' wicket.
Right,
in,
I'm quick.
Yeah, at Christchurch, if I'm not mistaken. It happened at Christchurch. So, yes, I think looking at the team composition and also because Australia have chosen to bat, I would still say it is advantage India. Because at least they know the total that they want to chase.
Yeah, to be fair, India are much
Exactly.
better at batting side when they know what total they're
Yes.
chasing.
They're better at chasing side.
Although in Rajkot, they didn't chase, but it was 50-50. Mohali they chased, Rajkot they didn't chase. So, in that sense, it was a rather 50-50. That ODI series, in fact, threw up a lot of conundrums.
So in fact, that ODI series, I'm not even counting. It happened in a parallel universe.
Exactly.
Australia were resting players, India were resting players. It felt like they were playing that to
Chaos.
fulfill contractual obligations.
Yeah, but remember, teams that have come out of a bilateral ODI series in the World Cup, it's been a 50-50. It's been a total 180-degree thing. England decimated New Zealand in the bilaterals before heading here, but New Zealand paid them back in kind. And if you look at it, Afghanistan decimated Bangladesh in the ODI series.
Then what happens?
But Bangladesh beat
Hasan
them.
Miraz.
Exactly, and Shakib.
Nah, Shakib though.
Yet again hurting Bangladesh.
Man's a proven
I mean,
coach.
hurting Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
3
To be fair, he
wickets.
does hurt Bangladesh sometimes.
Yeah, with his antics. So, but now this is a very mature Shakib Al Hasan, if you look at it.
Unless
I
he's
think-
bashing Tamim.
The way, no, I think he did the right thing.
No, he did. I agree.
I
with
think
you there.
Tamim in this entire scenario was
Came off
acting
worse.
like a prima donna in that sense. In that way.
Are we frozen?
Okay.
Dear. Okay.
So let's take some comments at this point. Then. But yeah, Ash, Kuldeep, Jaddu, come on. They can spin a web around Australia.
The
at this
one
point.
good thing I will say is that you have 3 different kind of spinners.
Left
The
arm.
problem with
Yes,
Akshay
exactly.
was
It does appear, guys, that we have some sort of an issue with the software. Thank you for pointing it out in the comments, by the way. We're just going to fix it, so don't leave us. We'll be back in about a minute. We'll try to fix it. We're coming up with a new stream, so just stick along, bear with us for 30 seconds. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Podcast today.
I hope to God you were muted.